Selling in a heated market. The market has definitely been heated over the past, well, let's call 7, 8 months. Well, I would say 7 months. We're in month 8 now, really since the start of the year. Nobody thought the market was going to move higher. Well, it surprised us all and it moved higher. So a lot of questions I've been getting, or at least a lot of investors that I've met, some of my clients, some of my investors, they've said to me, Alan, is it a good time to sell? We've gone up for the first 7 months of the year. Is it a good time to take money off the table? Well, there are a lot of ways to answer that question. And before I answer them, actually, let's pull up a chart of the NASDAQ, I believe, and that'll just show you how strong the NASDAQ, which is the market or the index that has the most technology exposure in it, how it's fared. At one point, the NASDAQ was up almost 35%. It's pulled back a little bit recently, as I said, as interest rates have gone higher. Some of the tech stocks have moved down. And again, that number you see there, down 50 points, was at the end of last week. Overall, I would say that there are many ways to sell into a heated market. My favorite way is to take some profit off the table for those names that have gone up by quite a bit. Names like NVIDIA. I believe we have, I don't know if we have an NVIDIA chart, but NVIDIA has been one of the stocks that has performed, I think, the best. And so if you are an investor who owns NVIDIA, perhaps it's time to trim some of those profits. Take a little bit of profit off the table. Take a little money off the table. If you own other stocks, especially in the NASDAQ, maybe you do take some profits off the table. But I don't want you to take money out of the market to try and time it to put money back in the market. To me, that is a recipe for, at times, disaster. Trying to time markets is something, unfortunately, many people try to do, but very few people get it right. And so if you're going to take some money off the table, you're going to sell some of your heated stocks or some of the stocks that have gone up by quite a bit, have another idea ready to move that money into. It doesn't have to be right away, but you got to do your homework, do your research, find names that haven't moved higher as yet. We've seen a lot of the chip makers move higher, a lot of the tech names move higher, maybe move some money into some banks. We've seen bank stocks move a little bit higher in the US and Canada recently, but I believe they still have a lot of room to run. Maybe you buy some pharmaceuticals. Some pharma names have done well recently. Maybe you buy some retail stocks. Names like Simon Property, for example, which I've talked about on this show before. Name like Simon Property, US REIT has done phenomenally well over the past couple of months and moved significantly higher, but I think still more room to run. So selling into a heated market, I think, can be done, but you don't want to sell to just park your money in cash, to wait for the market to come down to get back in. I think that is not the way you want to do it. I think you want to sell if you have another idea. So you're going to sell some profits on the winners to move into some of the names that have not moved higher as yet. Some of the names that represent good value, as I said earlier in the show, perhaps pay good dividends, buy them on the cheap. And so continue to diversify that portfolio. Diversified portfolio is always the best way to go. You never want to be heavily invested in one sector. You never want to have all your eggs in one basket. You want to spread it around. Continue to buy names in other sectors that, in my opinion, still have room to run and still haven't reached their potential as yet.